hopefully not too cold wherever you are joining in the world. The last webinar we did with Travis was a bit earlier in the day for us. So we've done this one later in the day so that people can, join from places like Europe or whatever sort of time zone you're on. It's the plan is to basically alternate between the two, so we can, hopefully you can find something a good time for you to join one of our webinars, which we're planning to continue on a monthly basis. Let's pull this up. So welcome to the webinar for March. So as to start off with, if you want to put in the chat where you're joining from today, how familiar you are with Coursebox. I think some of you are probably a customer that's been with us for a while, and some of us might be a bit new to Coursebox. What's your biggest challenge with creating a course? So would be really interested to hear what you're facing trouble with. And we can, try and address that in the webinar today. And also, what's your use case for Coursebox? So are you selling courses, or are you running internal training, or something else? We'd love to know. And we can, try and make the webinar today as useful for you as possible. So I'll kick off with a bit about myself. So I'm one of the co-founders here at Coursebox, and basically we launched Coursebox about 3 years ago, Travis and I, the two co-founders. We've had about 200,000 signups for Coursebox since, and this is from like all over the world, people generating courses in lots of different languages. We're based here in Australia, but it's awesome to be running such a global customer base software company and seeing all these different usage come in from around the world. And we're certainly, wanting to continue doing so. I think talking to the mission of the company, where we're trying to make course creation as easy and as quick and enjoyable as possible. So we'll be working a lot more on that soon to make that course generation process very streamlined and give you better output when you're using the product. So we've got Sandra here today with me in the chat. So she's our social media manager. So she'll be responding to some of your chat requests, and please feel free to put any questions or comments in the chat. She's going to be putting that in the end sort of slides for me to address. So things like feedback on the product, if there's anything that you're struggling with, if you've got a question, or just any sort of tips that you would like, any sort of questions at all, please feel free to put those in the chat, and we'll be happy to address those, particularly at the end, but potentially along the way, depending on how we go. And Sandra's right here next to me, so she might stop me along the way if something comes up and it's useful. All right, so the agenda for today, we're going to look at going all the way from an idea all the way to a structured draft and getting a really good course output. Then we're going to look at editing the course and making a really engaging, awesome experience for your learners. A lot of courses, unfortunately, they never get published, so people sort of end up at that step where they're editing, playing around with it, but they decide, actually, this is too hard, or it's not quite perfect, and then they give up. So we're going to delve into that a bit deeper. There's a few reasons for that we'll dive into, including maybe some people should just launch a bit earlier and then start to get feedback and iterate and make it better over time. And as part of that, we've come up with a 7-step checklist for publishing, so you can launch your courses sooner. What actually happens after you publish, getting your first learners into the platform, and what's coming next in the platform. So we've got some really exciting features that we're working on within Coursebox to make Coursebox a better product for all of you. Cool, so let's get started. The importance of the course structure. So often people just go straight into their their course, generating the course, and they kind of try and figure it out from there. Really, the best practice way of learning design is to think of the course structure as your foundation or your like your scaffolding. So it's worth spending a lot of time and thinking about this more so upfront, particularly when you're ready to seriously go into building your course. For some of you, if you're just sort of playing around with it and coming up with ideas, maybe that's okay to go through and quickly generate the course. But we highly recommend putting a bit more effort and time into this first step. So we quite often see course creators making this mistake where they jump too far in and then it's too hard to kind of go back, or they've wasted all this time building these nice course pages that they end up going, actually, I don't need that anymore. So it's a lot of it's about sort of planning and efficiency. So I'll open another tab and show you a bit about that. But first I'm going to jump into, advanced prompting techniques, and then I'll open a tab. So basically, when you generate your course, the prompts that you put in to generate the course structure that we were just talking about, the more specific you can get, the better. And there's a big difference between generating a course and a course structure with a basic prompt and something that's very specific. So if there's certain topics that you want to cover, if there's a certain audience that you're targeting your course to, and a lot of these things are down here in the buttons below. So just look out for those when you are building courses in Coursebox. Things like the structure as well. If you want your course to be, let's say 20 sections long, or you want it to be only 5 sections long, just a short course, then you should be putting different inputs into that structure and those settings. So really sort of delve into those. A lot of course creators make the mistake of just putting a very simple prompt in here, like marketing course, and then generate, and they just go straight into it. Maybe that's okay for testing it out, but when you're ready to quite seriously build an awesome course, try and we see this in our power users. They typically write a lot in here to the point that they're actually scrolling in here. So the scroll bar will appear because they're just putting so much text in there to get hyper specific. So with this one, you can see I've put in a prompt, create a course on how to create a personal brand on LinkedIn. So this is an example of a very basic, simple prompt. I haven't really put too much effort into this. It's really creating a personal brand on LinkedIn. That's it really. And I have clicked into the upload or audience or structure buttons. I've just basically generated it and got this structure back. So the problem with that is, I might have wanted actually to cover something else in this first section. I may have wanted, 3 or 10 pages in each section. Maybe I didn't want an assignment at the end and I just wanted quizzes. So I kind of just jumped in and sort of let the thing make it up for me. So worth putting in a lot more thinking into what you're prompting the AI. So this is an example of a much more comprehensive prompt. You can see, like I was talking about, there's that scrolly bar here. So it's because I put, 2 to 3 paragraphs of text in here on what I want to do. And we can, give you this text of the prompt. So if in case you want to use it as an example, copy and paste it and adapt it for you. So you can see I've created an online course on building a personal brand on LinkedIn, and then I've got into detail. Okay, the audience is this. When you click on the audience button, it will actually automatically generate that for you. So it should put in something similar to this, but then I could go in and edit it if I want. I've also put in things like create a 30-day content plan and activities for them to do throughout the course, as well as assessments even as well. So there's an assignment that typically gets put in the end of the course, but I can configure that if I want. So in the structure setting, we've got fixed parameters here, and under quizzes and assignment sections, I can actually say I don't just want an assignment at the end of the course, which is what this toggle is. I can say I actually want maybe 2 assignments. These are quite like heavy, big activities, so that's why the default is 0. But if you really want to change that, you can. You've got control here. Same with quizzes. So you could dial this up to like 3 pages of quizzes, or you could say actually 1 quiz is fine, but I want 5 questions in each quiz. So there's a lot of control you've got in this box here. So yeah, definitely recommend clicking into structure and playing around with that, as well as audience. If you've got files, that's where you upload those. And then the settings, you could say, actually, I don't want YouTube videos, I don't want images, but I'll keep those on for this, and save and continue. So yeah, it's there's a lot of control here. If you want to jump straight into generating the course instead of just seeing the structure, then that's what that toggle is as well. As I said, recommend, particularly if you're like quite seriously building a comprehensive course, leave that on for this example. Great. So next, I just generated this course about 10-15 minutes ago, actually, with that exact prompt, just so you didn't have to see all the loading and stuff. So this is what we've got. Now I'm in preview mode to start with. Sorry, I should say learner mode. So I can see what the learner would see if they were in the course, besides this edit course button. That's it. Otherwise, everything else, yeah, is the same. So there's things like this learner progress thing here, which tells me, okay, I'm 4% way through the course because I'm only up to page 1. We've got this really cool banner at the top, which tells us, yeah, it's just like a nice looking sort of title for the course. A welcome course roadmap, you know, icons about the course with some text and so forth. So we've recently made some upgrades. I think we went through this last time in the last webinar as well, to some of the visual components and what the courses visually kind of look like. We're going to continue to do that, and there's a few components that I'll go through as well, that we're either generating with AI or not generating them with AI quite yet, but you can manually add them. So we're also working on a beautify button. So you'll be able to, if you're like an older course creator that maybe you've already made a course, you've got learners in it, but you want to make your course pages look better, and currently they're kind of just text because that was the old version of Coursebox. You'll be able to click that beautify button at the top and it will rewrite your pages with some of these features like the icons and the title banner and that sort of thing. That should be coming within the next couple of weeks, and we'll be, yeah, putting that out for testing soon, and we'll make sure we announce that. But yeah, look out for that one if that's useful to you. I'll just navigate through a couple pages of the course so you can see. We've got these really cool diagrams that it generates, pulls in like relevant YouTube videos, and we've got other interactions like tabs and accordions, and flip cards are probably my favorite. Learners typically quite like those, as well as the the quotes and the carousels. So this is a new one where you can click through this, and all of this is editable. So I'll show you that in a minute. You can also get an AI tutor. So this is automatically put into the course, but you can edit all of this. So the tutor will actually talk back and forth with the learner, and they're trained on the entire course as well. So, you know, I can ask a question to my AI tutor, and it will sort of answer me based on the course content. And you can configure that to say, answer whether it's just trained on the course content or if it's allowed to answer outside of that. Cool. All right. So let's go back to the slides. So I'll jump into editing the course next. We've got some, cool features that we can show here. if we click on edit course, cool. So when you click on AI, you've got some, lots of really cool things that you can add in. So you can generate quizzes with AI, videos, images, all sorts of things. That was the AI tutor that I was just talking about. So this is all in the bottom content bar for you. So just remember, when you want to edit the course, you've got this bar down the bottom that you can really add more content with to the course. And it's not just with AI. You've got text components. A lot of people want to upload a video that they may have already made. So you just go to multimedia videos and then upload that video here, or put in the YouTube link to embed it. And we also have an AI video generator. I'll show you soon some really cool updates that we're working on to this, where you'll be able to generate slides-based videos. But at the moment, we've got some avatars in here that you can choose from. You can even create your own avatar if you upload the photo. And you can, essentially edit the script and all this sort of stuff that's appearing in the background here as well. So there's lots of other things that we can add in here. Generate assignments with AI. All these sort of text components, I might just go through some of the things that we've added recently. So these are like the grid cards that you'll see there. So you've got images or icons that you can have and text that you can edit. You can also do this in basically rows instead. The quotes I showed, the banner, you can add those manually and edit all the content. You can have numbered lists. So if you've got sort of like a step-by-step process, this is a really good one to use. So I'll just go back into preview mode for you. So you can see, there's like, step 1, do this, step 2, do that. This is a great one for that. Makes it really easy. Content block is a really awesome one as well. So you can actually put an image on the left and text on the right, or flip it over. So we could upload an image here and then have text on the right. So this is, something that's been requested by a lot of our clients. You can see that one doesn't have an image that I've uploaded in there, but that's a big one, as well as hotspot. So I'll just go back to the slide so I can show you this one. Cool. So here's an example of a hotspot in my LinkedIn course. So we've got like my social media profile on LinkedIn, and using the hotspot feature, we've added these hotspots and then the text to basically give the learner a guide as they click through each of the spots. And they can also click on these little arrows here to just go through step by step, and they will tick off as the learner goes through it. So it's quite a cool, like, visual interactive element to add to your courses. We had like actually quite a lot of requests for this one. It's quite common in particularly higher end learning designers who are building courses. So if you've got something visual and you want to make it quite interactive, definitely recommend using that one. I went through the grid cards and the carousel. They can, just like Instagram, they can flick through. The flip cards, as I showed you, that's a bit of a favorite. This just was for a kid's course. That's why it's so colorful. But that's definitely a big one that learners love, is the flashcards. Great. So let's move on to talking about why people get stuck in their courses. So often, as I was saying, a lot of people wait until it's perfect. And then, they never get to perfect, and so they don't publish. Excuse me. So I think, similar to, so like for us, we're building a software product, right? It's very different, very similar to building a course in a lot of ways. You're still building a product, and you've got to get to the point where you can get it out there in front of people and then market it and get them using it. And I think, there's a very similar mentality. Like some of you might have heard of the lean startup, where it's like a build, measure, and then learn kind of cycle. So we highly recommend sort of taking that sort of way of thinking, particularly when you're first launching a course. So we're specifically talking here about course creators that get stuck in that I'm building a course and then no one ever sees it. So it's a very, very common problem. We certainly want to make sure that you are getting to the point where you're getting that course out there and you're getting learners into the platform. Often there's a lot of that, perfection mindset, and there's just endless like polishing of the content, making the design look amazing, make sure every word is perfect. When most learners won't particularly care too much if there's a spelling error in the last section of the course, for example. And that's not going to have a significant impact on the quality of your course. We highly recommend not like overbuilding the content not too much too early, because you just don't have the feedback yet. So the more feedback you can get and the earlier on in the process, the better. Certainly having like a launch plan, like how you're going to get learners in the course. If you're more of an internal course creator, then even like marketing to your internal staff and getting buy-in from them. And there's things like they've got a fear of getting negative feedback, which yes, important to change your mindset on and look at feedback as a positive thing. Ensuring that approvals from other people aren't holding the publishing back. Unfortunately, that can happen, and we can't always do a lot about that. And yeah, feel free to put in the comments like what's holding you back from publishing. We'd love to know, and talk more about that towards the end of the session. So we've got surveys in our course creator as well. So this can help with like this exact point, actually. I'll just show you that within the course editor here. So if we go into, I think it's assessments, there's a survey tool. So this has essentially been built just like quizzes, but it doesn't grade them. So we can click on survey to add a survey, and then we can add a different survey sort of question type. So it could be open answer. You could just ask like, what did you think of this course or this section? Often courses will actually have a survey at the end of every section of a course and not just at the end of the course. So you're getting specific feedback on that part of the course. And it particularly addresses the problem where maybe learners will drop off and they won't finish the course. So you want to get feedback from those people as well. So if you're putting the survey at the end of your course, the problem is they will never reach the survey. So yeah, highly recommend putting surveys within your course, particularly if you're in that earlier stage. And there's also a star rating as well. So you could add this star rating, and then they can basically select 1 to 5 questions. So I can put a question in here like, what would you rate this course? And then when we're in preview mode, they can basically select these stars like 5 out of 5 and send those through. So yeah, there's a great surveying tool in here. Highly recommend using that to get your feedback. But also if you can speak to people, even better, because there's only sort of so much data you'll get from this. So if you can, get those people through and have a good chat to them, that's a really good way to figure out what you need to do to improve the course. Great. So we've come up with this 7-step publish checklist. So these just are, basically 7 things for you to think about that you can tick off to essentially, make sure that you publish your course successfully. So 1, define the clear measurable outcome in each module. So you want your learners to feel like they're achieving something in each of those sections of the course. If they're kind of just going through there and they feel like they're not achieving it, well, that's a problem. You can put that into your survey as well, and you can put that into your thinking around how you design each section of the course as well. Removing the non-essential content. So you don't want waffle in there. You want people to get straight to it. Having at least one engaging element. So things like videos and hotspots and so forth. Some people are a bit more visual and they want something more interactive. Getting long text blocks for visual, or replacing those long text blocks with visual or video content, like I just said. Completing the learner walkthrough before launch. So actually test it out yourself, try and get others to test it out even in front of you, and have a fixed publish date. So you're working towards an actual target and you're holding yourself or others or your team accountable to that. And definitely try and recruit some beta learners. So not just people that are like doing the course, but actually testing it out and giving you feedback quickly. So the publish experience kind of looks like this. I can show you what it looks like in the course. So if we go into edit course here, there's a big publish button at the top, and there's a bunch of different settings in here that you can, essentially configure your publish settings for. The main one is this top one. So draft, make sure that you're choosing the right publish setting. So obviously, if you want to sell the course, you're choosing that one. And public is more like anyone can kind of come in for free. And then restricted, it's for things like internal training where it's private, it's locked down. Only people can get in if they're invited or approved to get access.
One question was that how can, like, she's not on LMS, how can she share it with colleagues?
She's not on LMS.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're not on the LMS plan, so you're just in my Coursebox, you can still add colleagues in for sure. So you can click on add learner, change that to as collaborator, put their email in and just hit add, and basically they will get edit access to it. If you want to share it with them as a learner instead, so they can like experience it as a learner, just keep that as learner and put their email in here and send it to them. That's probably the easiest way if you've got their email address. Another option is you can just share the link. Obviously, make sure it's not in draft though, so just have it as like public and open, or restricted if you want to not let like anyone else get in there if they have the link for whatever reason. And then they can basically register for the course. So I'll just show you what that kind of looks like. Basically, if I publish this as public, share link, what we recommend is going into a private incognito window. So then you can actually see what a learner would see with the logged out experience. So this is what I would see as a learner, the course landing page, and then I can register here and set a password and everything to get access into the course. So there's a few good options there. Some of you, this won't be applicable to all of you, but some of you might want to download the course as a PDF or SCORM and put that into a separate learning management system. But the majority of users, we find it's just this top section here that you'll need to configure for your settings. On the course overview page, so the course landing page, sorry, when you click on there, that's how you get back to this page that I was showing the learner was seeing. There's a few settings up here as well, so we can click on users and then see who has access to the course. And we could even bulk import learners. If we've got a spreadsheet of, let's say, 1,000 staff that we've got to distribute this course to, we could set that spreadsheet up and just bulk import their emails in here, if that's how you wanted to do it. Of course, there's the link option that I just showed you as well, if you wanted to send it out through email or something. Cool. So the next thing is we've got a courses page on my Coursebox. So there's not just the individual page of the course, there's a page that shows all the courses. So I'll show you that on my Coursebox. So that's this one here. You can see that we've got all these different courses in here that are published. Now I'm in the marketplace, so my Coursebox. So there's other course creators that are publishing courses in here that are public, and we can do some sort of filtering to go down to who's doing those and let's say like the price of the course and so forth. But I'll show you an example of a branded LMS. So they're on one of the higher end plans, and they've got their own branded white label version of Coursebox. So you can see that here. They've branded Coursebox as like with their logo, with their colors, and this is their courses page. So you won't see any other courses on here besides their own. And then you can click into each course and actually see each of those course pages as well. So we can register as a user and and request access to that course as well on this on these courses pages. So that's just one sort of feature that you'd get on the branded LMS, but you can also edit like the micro website here and add like about content and so forth. So that's that. Now, what happens after you publish the course? Well, there's some really key things that go on. So we want to make sure the learner onboarding is really strong. We've got like a really clear welcome for the learners, and they know what's actually happening in the course. We're giving them a really strong first impression with the structure they're going to go through, what they're going to achieve. Try and give them some really quick wins. We're in this age of like TikTok and everything where people have short attention spans. So giving them like, you know, some boring stuff to go through in the first section of the course is not super helpful. We want to give all the best stuff at the start. People very commonly drop off in the first part of a course. So try and get them over that hump and convince them to stay with you and get to the end. Then work on those surveys, getting that feedback that we mentioned, driving ongoing engagement with things like discussions. You can add discussion elements in a course. You can also build groups in the platform. So the discussion element is one of those course elements you can add in the bottom content bar where people can post their own questions and respond in threads and like comments. And also, the reporting sort of features that you can get when your course is going are really crucial to looking at how far people are getting into the course. Are they actually completing it? Is there a certain point that they're getting up to and dropping off? So how to get your first 20 learners. There actually is unlimited in Coursebox, and we would recommend trying to get your first sort of like 10 users into Coursebox as quickly as you can, and getting feedback as well. What's coming next in the product? We've got a lot of improvements coming. We're moving from more like manual to AI-assisted generation improvements. We're trying to make the course generation just like absolutely wow, but take the effort off you and feel simple but still have control. There's things like the AI video editor that we're upgrading. So you'll get this slides-based video that you'll be able to generate. So at the moment, we've got those avatars. There's no way to remove them, and you can't sort of add a PowerPoint in. So in the next week or two, we'll add this feature from a presentation. You'll be able to import your slides and generate a video with your own script and voice. You'll also be able to generate pages just with like one quiz question. So at the moment, when you have a quiz, it's kind of built as like a long kind of quiz with multiple questions, and you have to get started with the quiz. So this is just a quick, very quick knowledge check that you can put throughout your course pages to make it a little bit more engaging. Instead of kind of the course creator, the learner leaning back and just sort of like, you know, passively reading, we're making them think with these sort of random questions that are put throughout the course. So if you're interested in giving us a testimonial or having an interview with our team or a case study, we're actually currently conducting in-depth customer interviews, and we're building our real-world case studies showing how Coursebox is used. So we'd love to feature some customers that have had success with us. So please feel free to reach out to Alexandra at Coursebox.ai. And yeah, we can look at considering you for a potential testimonial or case study. Great. So are we good for the Q&A? Awesome. So we've got these questions that have come through in the chat, so I can start addressing those one by one. So the biggest challenge, the design, layout, and avatars. Yep. Yeah, so we're looking to add some things. Design-wise, we're looking to add things like themes, where you can change the sort of like the colors and the fonts of the course. I'm not sure specifically what's meant by design layout, but we're certainly looking to improve the look and the feel and the polish of the courses. Something I didn't show in the course editor, if I just jump back in here, is you can switch between double and single column here. So there is that control there. You can also drag and drop elements on the page to reorder them. So if you wanted to put your carousel at the top and your other elements further down, you can do that in that course editor like I just showed there. With the avatars, yeah, so we've got about 500 avatars right now in there, and you can also create your own avatars. So that's an integration with HeyGen that doesn't require you to pay for a HeyGen account. You only need the Coursebox video editor if you're happy with all the features in there. And we're building on that with the slides video generator, like I mentioned. Hoping to sell the courses in the future. Yeah, awesome. So we integrate with Stripe and PayPal. So it's very easy. When you click sell course, you can set a price and then set up your PayPal and Stripe integration. You can also integrate with our Shopify or WordPress plugin, which are built for integrating the courses into your website and having a price on there and selling it through there. So Shopify is great for that. If you would like to have a Shopify website. We've got some clients that have done that successfully, and we're building more features related to helping you market your courses as well, like improving the SEO and social media posting and that sort of thing. To find out how do we price our course in the range of, this is a big question that often comes up. How do you decide what the price of your course is? It's not sort of an easy question, but I think a lot of it relates to how much value you think you're providing in your course, and also who is your target audience. So if you're targeting like a very professional, high-end industry, maybe it's like oil and gas professionals, and it's actually targeting like probably the L&D department or the company that's going to pay for the staff, and they've got big budgets for like training and development, then things are much less price sensitive, right? But if you're targeting, so maybe it's probably in the thousands sort of thing. It could be like 20,000 for a course. If you're targeting maybe like just individuals that are doing it as a side hustle, maybe they just want to like learn how to use Canva or something, that might be like more like less than $100, like maybe it's $20 or something. But maybe you'll be able to get a lot more of them. It's a bit more sort of scalable, and you're not so reliant on getting, maybe you're not sort of just targeting like a few customers. It's more like thousands and on a global scale. So how's the old format of creating an RTO toolkit? So this is Australia specific registered training organization. So these are accredited training companies in Australia. Is what RTO is. Improved. It was very text heavy and needed a lot of subsequent editing. Yeah. So that's actually something I discussed with our head of product today. So we are looking at improving that, and making the online course component less text heavy. And we're also looking at the output of the files within that zip file, to improve those as much as we can. We would, because we're such a global company with lots of sort of customers giving us feedback, there's a very limited amount of feedback we've received on that RTO stuff. So we'd love to hear more about what you would like to see in that feature. That would help us a lot to make sure we focus on the right things. Does the Coursebox AI use a particular learning methodology in creating a course? Yeah, there's some instructional design frameworks. I believe there's a mixture of them that have been used by my business partner, Travis, who comes from an instructional design background, in order to affect the algorithm that we use to generate the content. I can't exactly speak to the frameworks or anything that we use to do that. But to be honest, we're changing this all the time, and we're looking at feedback and reporting. And then, yeah, we're looking to give the course creators more control and flexibility over this sort of thing as well. So at the moment, we kind of generate courses that look a lot the same, but the longer term plan is to branch off into generating courses that look completely different based on what you're prompting it. Would you like to see a demo on how to export the course to another platform or my own website? I don't understand that question. Was that if time permits, would like to see a demo on how to export the course? Oh, I see. Right. Export. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So I'll open the publish button here. So yeah, with the publish button, I'll just breeze over this, but basically when you click on download, you can get HTML or PDF. Now I think we're just in the process of about to launching this PDF improvement. At the moment, it's mostly the text in it. But yeah, basically you get this. I just downloaded that very quickly and I got a copy of that. So we'll be putting all the images in that this week. Embed, basically you can get this iframe code. That's just don't worry if you're oh, what's that? It's literally just a piece of code that you need to just copy this. And if you go to your website builder, whether it's Wix or WordPress or whatever, if you go into the HTML mode, which is the coding mode, you just paste that in and it will embed the course on that web page. So that's one way that you can publish the course, is actually have the course embedded on your website. Just sort of a word of warning is that the courses can have a lot of content in them. And so when you're embedding something on a page, it's embedding content within, it's basically embedding a website inside a website. So it can kind of squish things in a bit. So make sure you test it, because if it's not going for width, it's not always the best experience. Best practice, we recommend just sending them to the link and getting them through the course in the platform, because they'll just have a better experience rather than trying to do a course embedded in your website. SCORM, you can download this and import it into your learning management system. Coursebox is a learning management system itself, but if you're already kind of stuck on another LMS and you can't move, you can just export the course and put it in there. So I think that kind of goes over those. I found it creates repeated content under different topics, and it's very time consuming to read all the topics and remove repetition. Okay, yeah, that's not good. So I think that's something that we're working on right now. Is I'm actually working directly with our AI developer to improve the content that's generated in the course, the written content. So we'll be doing that over the next week or two. That's a really high priority for us. So thanks for that feedback. That's something that I can consider with that work coming up over the next week or two, to make sure that we're eliminating repetition, because that's certainly not something that we'd like to see either. Yeah. When to give the batch instead of the certificates? I don't understand what that means. Do you know what that means? No.
Yeah, basically, I noted that when we complete the course, it can be designed with the issuance of the certificates for completion. Then I noticed that there's another feature that it's like gamification. We can reward the participant by badges. I think a spelling mistake. Badges, not badge. Yeah. So when
Oh,
do we use that badges? Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great. So particularly if you're a branded LMS customer on one of the higher end plans, we kind of recommend doing
LMS. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, we recommend doing both. So with badges, they're more so for like a combination of different things. So you might get the badge for doing, let's say, 3 different courses that are all focused on the same topic. So I might get my LinkedIn badge if I complete, or let's say my social media marketing badge if I complete the LinkedIn, the Facebook, and the TikTok marketing course. And they're all separate courses. And I can get a certificate for each of those 3. So often, the badge is kind of for more like a combination of courses. That's usually how course creators will use that one. Of course, you can, we have seen people do both. Having said that, there's a prerequisites feature. So you could say that you can only do like module, like let's say course 2 or the intermediate course until you complete the beginner's course. And so in your course landing page, you can set up prerequisites here if you wanted to take that method. And then, you could have the certificate at the end of like the last course. So that's another option, but the badge is sort of first way I explained is probably better.
Got it. Thank you.
No worries. Can I embed course on my website? So I've already answered that one. Yes, with that copy iframe button. Does it have language conversion capabilities? So somewhat. Basically, you can have the platform in any language, and you can generate a course in any language. Now, translating a course from one language to the next, basically the kind of easiest way to do that right now is you can download the course as a PDF, like I showed you, and then upload it for generating another course, and make sure you select the language button to change that. So I would change like English to Spanish here or whatever, and then upload the PDF of the course and just convert that through. Now, I understand that's probably a bit of a hack way to kind of do what you're looking to do. So we do have this on our roadmap for later this year. It's not coming up in the next like 2 weeks or anything, to be honest, but it has been requested, quite a bit. So it's certainly something we will want to do this year, is have the ability to have like different courses within the subcourse that are different languages. So how is data captured, Coursebox exported to other platforms, Moodle? It depends what data is meant by that. But you can basically export, or you've got the reporting in your reporting section in Coursebox. That's not all sent over to Moodle, but you've got a sort of SCORM or LTI version of the course, and then that sort of feeds through reporting into Moodle, but it does depend on the LMS. And it's got identifiable like email addresses from Moodle that's going back and forth. If you want to, you can turn that off. So some of our clients who are very security conscious and maybe they don't have time to get Coursebox approved for security, even though we do have high security standards, they can just tick that box saying anonymize learner data and it won't get sent across. Which subscription plan would you recommend for internal courses? Well, we actually offer unlimited learners on all of our plans. So that's really good news. If you want things to look really professional and have the best experience for your staff for internal training, we would recommend probably the business plan would probably be the best fit. The Yeah, and so that you can have multiple course administrators to be able to edit and build your courses, and then you can make it like a proper company experience that's branded for you and not like they're going through some other platform. I would like to use my own company template for the layout. I wonder what's meant by that. I mean, you can import SCORM files into a page as well. So if you've got, a course sort of file from another, program, you can import that.
Like background and colors and everything.
For that background and colors, you can change some of the settings in here. Sorry, let me go in here. Edit course. So we've got a theme button here. So you can actually change some of the colors on here. Now we're in the middle of updating this, so you can add fonts as well and edit the fonts across the whole course. But if you've got, certain branding of your company, you could click on here and I could, change this color to something else, and then that will appear across the whole course, so it can look a bit more branded for you. On assignments, a customer asked if you could provide them with the ability to use cut and paste rather than uploading a document.
So like copy and then paste rather than uploading the document.
For the learner submission, I'm guessing?
Assignments.
Assignment submission.
Yes.
I'm guessing there wouldn't be another use case for that, would there?
Yes, he answered yes.
Okay, perfect. Yep. So if I've got an assignment here, let's go there. The capstone project, here we go. So I've just gone into preview mode and I've got like an assignment here. So you could put in the text box here, like any text instead of uploading a document, and then I could just submit that.
But also like copy a picture.
Oh, copy a picture.
Yeah.
I don't think we've got a visual paste in here yet. Yeah, so that's a good point. I don't think we've actually heard that before, but that's a good point. We could certainly look at adding that to our roadmap. I don't think it would be a difficult thing to enable, image upload. Yep.
Carolina is just raising her hand.
Sorry, I'll just weigh in on that last question, Alex. They can't actually paste the picture into it, but they could have uploaded a picture as part of a document if that was part of the assessment.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So the way to just upload the visual for now would be to upload it. So they could put the image like sort of into a slide deck or into a document, let's say, and then they could download it as PDF to upload it all together. That's the current workaround. Yeah, I think we're up to this one on the download option. I would like to use the content as a course workbook, but it only shows the text, not images.
Yes,
well, the good news is we are launching that this week. We've had this feedback many times for a while. So yes, we've prioritized that and we've got a fix for it. We're just doing the final testing before we launch later this week. So if you try that feature sort of late this week or early next week, it should have an update. So we'd love your feedback on that newer version if it solves that problem for you. Use case, I don't see why not here. You could create like an online course for you to, basically for this use case, and then you could put it into your Moodle LMS. If there's any sort of potential, I guess, challenges that you foresee about that, let us know. Feel free to speak up. I'm not seeing any issues there though.
Yeah, I think it's probably just a question of trying to assess in one course run if they achieve a sort of certain rate of success on the early questions. It directs them to harder level questions and so on and so forth until it sort of builds up a profile.
Yeah, you could definitely make an easier sort of level course, and you can put that in the prompting at the beginning as well. And then you can make sure that like the assessments and the quizzes and that stuff are like sort of at a beginner level and like lighter touch, and then make them more and more difficult as time goes on. And there was that prerequisite feature that I mentioned. So if you want to have the beginner, intermediate, sort of advanced, and string those together and let them progress through, that's another way you
Carolina
can
would
do it.
like to speak.
Yep, Carolina.
Yes, Alex, I just wanted to weigh in on that question. So I'm taking that as you'd like to create a course to assess language literacy and numeracy and the learner levels before they enter the main course. You could create a pathway to do that. So if you could create the first course on language literacy and numeracy, and then they pass that and then move on to the next course. And all of that obviously can be exported to your LMS.
Yep. So that, sorry, I didn't mention that pathway feature. That's in that badges section, I believe. Is that right, Carolina?
Yeah, you'd have to create the course and create a pathway. So what it is, it basically, you link several courses together, and the learners will have to pass one course to be able to move on to the next one. Similar way that RTOs use, like for different accreditations, they need to pass one module to continue to the next module.
Yeah, so that's in this badge here, you can see it. It's got these courses I can add as a requirement, and then I have to, you can say, oh, they must complete them in this order to kind of get the badge at the end. So that's the pathway feature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I suppose the question, sorry, it was probably more like, within the course, does it allow branching? So depending on the answer to a question, can I branch to a different section of the same course within the course rather than scaffolding different courses one after the other?
At the moment, no. It is a feature it's one of the features that's been on our mind, and we are exploring in future, because we've got a number of, and this is really good feedback because it helps us move to that way. But at the moment, no. The only way you could do it is to take them to a certain level in the course, and then maybe create 2 or 3 different mini courses and just move them that way in the pathways.
Okay, thank you.
There is sort of like a bit of a hack to this. I don't know whether this will work for you, but you can, when you go into edit course, you can actually
lock
and unlock pages, and then there's a link for each course page as well. So you could actually, at the end of a quiz or whatever, you could say, if you want to do this, go to this, like click here to go to that link, or something along those lines. So that's just like one sort of hack way of branching.
Okay, thanks.
So for compliance training, how does the platform handle course content accuracy, staying up to date, especially when regulations change? Yeah, great point. We are basically using some of the latest models. We also highly recommend uploading content when you're working in a bit more of a regulated space. We have referencing and citation on our roadmap. So that will, basically search the web in very, credible kind of places that are relevant, and then pull in, like actual hard facts that are either referenced from the documents that you uploaded or the web, and reference those with links. So that's on our future roadmap to address this year within the next few months. Which plan offers white labeling? So if you go onto our pricing page, there's Creator LMS or above, which has white labeling. So that's, this one here, Creator LMS. Ignore the price here, because depending on what country you're in, you'll see different pricing in your currency. But this one, Creator LMS or above, you can change all the branding. You'll get access to the edit branding button, and you'll be a super administrator. You can change the domain of the platform, the platform name, all the logos and the colors and the fonts and a bunch of other things in this left menu as well.
Hi, Alex. So I tried the AI chatbot, and to be honest, I think its quality can be even better. Regarding the formatting and like, instead of like throwing a big chunk of text, I think like using gap and also like bullet points can be much better for us to make it more understandable and easier to see to read. Yeah, so that's my point.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's good to get that feedback. We can certainly look more at that. We haven't, to be honest, got that sort of on the roadmap. We do have one thing which is like enable voice mode in the AI tutor, so then the learner can either like speak to the tutor or just type. But in saying that, we are constantly improving the models and the algorithms that we're using, and that part of the AI tutor is included in that. So yeah, I think that will only improve over time for sure. And I'll let the team know about your feedback on that one, and we'll have a think about that. We'll take that away. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just one more question. Like regarding the compliance training use cases, like how do you bridge the gap between regulation changes and the AI model catching up? So there's a gap, like such as, well, maybe like half of the month. How do you bridge the gap?
Yeah, no, it's a great point. We find that definitely the upload feature can help the most with making sure you're using exactly the right information. Because if you're, so for example, in Australia, we have unit of competencies, and all of those are like put out on the exact link on the website. So a lot of regulated training providers in Australia will upload like that exact thing or copy and paste it in. And that will mean that the model has the most up-to-date information that's going off that. That would be like the most important thing I would suggest. And then, as I said, we're looking to integrate web search and citations and so forth as well. Do you have any examples of people using Coursebox as a blended learning tool with workshops as well as online courses? Yeah, we've seen a lot of this actually, particularly some of our more established customers that are bigger customers. A lot of them are training companies who actually, in some instances the primary sort of revenue source of their business is face-to-face training, and then they're using Coursebox as the online component, and then they're bringing that into classes to kind of change things up a bit. And yeah, often they're using more Coursebox for the online course part. They're not really trying to turn Coursebox in the face-to-face part, to be honest. But we do see a lot of course creators also like, download the PDFs, print that off. Maybe they say like to their students, go to section 5, page 4, and look at this assignment now. And we're going to discuss it in 5 minutes, have a read of that. So they'll blend it in. So yeah, there's a lot of training companies. You can look on our reviews page at some of those videos. That will, there's a couple on there that use it for that. We've got our next webinar coming up on the 2nd of April. And that will be, again, like back on the earlier sort of time on our end. That's with Carolina, who was speaking up, answering some of the questions today. So she's a learning experience manager. She has a wealth of experience with designing and building high quality courses. And so, she's really on top of some of these features, and she's also heavily involved in building out the platform to make it an engaging and high quality course builder. And being an instructional designer, she's very on top of how to build an amazing and engaging course. And some of those more complicated features that she was speaking up about, like the pathways and reporting and assessment type things. So she, wealth of knowledge about that stuff. So please feel free to join and get some amazing tips from her about learning design in that session. And please feel free to stay connected. So follow us on LinkedIn. Travis is there on LinkedIn. I'm also on LinkedIn, so feel free to follow me, and connect with us, and also the Coursebox account. We've just started a Facebook group as well. We've really enjoyed running these webinars and hearing sort of feedback from you guys and engaging with you. And we'd love to do that in another format, sort of more online as well. So you're not waiting the full month to speak up. I think, yeah, if you want to join that Facebook group, Sandra, will you send out the link? Yeah.
Yep.
So there's a link Sandra sent out if you want to join that one and engage with us and other course creators in there. But yeah, totally optional, obviously. And yeah, I guess that's it for today. So thanks so much, everyone, for joining. We've recorded this webinar, so we'll send that out as well.